WESTSIDE has helped create such a love for the arts that people feel like it's a necessity for the rest of their life. I always knew that I wanted a teen company, I think my whole life. I mean, I remember being 12 or 13 years old, and I would go for walks around the neighborhood and have my music in. I'd be holding like my little CD player that would be skipping all the time. And I would envision my teen company, and I always knew I wanted to dance professionally as well, but even that, I always felt like I was storing memories and experiences to give to my future students, because I always knew that's what I wanted to do. I have the program company as a means to train dancers specifically for contemporary dance, because contemporary dance is all over the world. I mean, there's so many companies. In college, you're going to do a lot of contemporary dance, and so these dancers get the other styles still, but what WESTSIDE does is it really trains them in a bunch of different styles of contemporary. And I also believe that you need to be equally good at, equally trained at ballet as you are contemporary. So we have partnered with Dmitry Kulev Classical Ballet, who does all the ballet training. I trust them immensely. And then Megan Geis and I teach contemporary at the school. And then with performance company, it's really the professional side of things, so that creative side. How do you create a 30-minute piece? How do you create a 40-minute piece and be a part of the work when the choreographer asks you, okay, I want a walking phrase that goes from right to left, or I want you to do a duet. Take this phrase that we did and I want you to reverse it. I want to see some floor work with it and some partnering. And you may be asked to do all sorts of these types of things, and if you're if you don't have any experience with that and you just go to a summer intensive or you go to college or in a company and they ask you to do that, you're going to get kind of shell-shocked, and it's going to take you a while to warm up to that process. So performance company was a way to get dancers used to that type of process, and also just the whole production of how you put on a show, from quick changes to understanding a little bit about lighting and all of those details, so that when they get into that realm, they're going to be more prepared for it than I was. When a dancer comes to audition for WESTSIDE Dance Project, what I look for is someone who seems humble and someone who seems absorbent. I want someone who realizes that there's room for everyone in dance, that it's a thriving art form, so they don't need to be competitive towards other people, but focus on their journey. And also someone who can see the good in other people, because if you can see the good in how other people dance, you're going to absorb that, and you're going to be a sponge, and you're going to really feed off the other dancers in WESTSIDE. If they have it factor, and if they have that quality that just makes you notice them when they walk into a room that you see in artists. I believe that artists really have it in their DNA. And so you can just look at someone when they walk in the room and see that they could tell a story through their movement before they even start moving. So seeing someone that just has that artistic DNA, that's something that you can't put your finger on, and that just seems really open to the process and willing to learn and grow, and they know that it's a long-term journey. They're not looking for instant success, but they're really looking at dance as something that they're doing as a part of their life, and so they're wanting something that's going to help them really create the building blocks for that, no matter how long it takes.
I grew up dancing in a competition dance studio, and as my love for dance grew and I wanted to have something of a more mature environment, something more direct towards concert dance, I basically stumbled upon WESTSIDE Dance Project under the recommendation of a friend and decided to audition out of the blue, which is probably one of the best impulsive decisions I've made. And I went to the audition, and I really thought I botched it, but Jessie saw some sort of potential in me and took me under her wing, and here I am.
I think confidence is a really big thing. Jessie always looks for people that have confidence when she picks people, and I think just being yourself, like as an artist, and not
everything in general as human beings, and I think I really looked up to them throughout the years and thought I should just try it and see how it works out.
Training at Westside has really prepared me for anything I might want to do in the future, because there's such a solid training that we do at Dimitri's with ballet, and then working with Jessie, we're constantly exploring different techniques and creative processes as dancers, choreographers, improvers. The options for us, we feel like limitless, like we can go and do anything, because she's always feeding our brains with so much information from her and the outside choreographers she brings in. So yeah, we're just constantly being fed all this information. So it's also taught me to always be a student and to always keep learning till the day I die, just forever.
I find that my training at Dmitri Kulov Classical Ballet Academy has helped my training with Jessie, because I've been able to apply other things that I've learned with Jessie through my ballet training.
I think Jessie's training style is so special compared to other places I've encountered, only because she really focuses on anatomy and all that, and I've never had a teacher that really goes into depth about the body and the human body rather than just focusing on musicality and movement, but it's so much more than that, and she's constantly digging deeper to find new ways to educate ourselves and educate us.
So we've been bringing in choreographers for a few years now, and I found that it's been so incredibly helpful for the dancers. They've been able to really see a bunch of different styles and techniques of contemporary dance. We tend to think, I believe, that contemporary dance is one thing, and then you experience people that aren't in your realm, and maybe that's traveling somewhere, having people travel to you, and you just go like, wow, I didn't even know you could dance like that. I didn't even know I could experience it this way. So bringing in choreographers has really helped just broaden the horizon of the dancers, and also create more mentorship relationships for them, so that they can reach out to these established choreographers and ask about summer intensives and schools, and give them even more experience than I have, which I really appreciate, because I want them to have all the advantages in the world before they are ready to start their journey solo.
All the guest choreographers that come in are so talented, and they've really been out there in the dance industry, so you know that they really know what they're talking about, and they treat you like you're a professional while they're working with you. So it's a really great experience to get to take in their knowledge. It feels like you're kind of stepping into their world and gaining from everything that they've learned along the way. So it's just been amazing to learn from each and every one of them, because they're all so diverse, but every single one of them so talented.
The guest choreographers are crazy. They're like, to me, they're like legends of dance. They're so good. I think, especially one of my favorites is Jermaine, and he's done so many things, and I've watched videos before he came in, and his choreography, and not only his choreography, but his mentorship through all of us has helped so much, and I feel like I've grown so much because of him. And they're just very, not only like good teachers, but good people, and they ask you how you're doing, what to work on, and they're always there helping you. So having them with us has been amazing. So
I usually start listening to music. I wish that it was a more creative way, but I am very inspired by the music, so I usually think of the type of music that's inspiring me at the time, search for the music, and then if a concept comes to my mind, then I stay with that music and try to develop the concept mentally a bit before I get in the studio. And if something doesn't really pop into my mind the first time I hear it, then I move on. And same thing, once we get into the studio and we start working on that concept, it has to feel right, and if it doesn't feel right, then I move on to something else. And depending on the dancers, if I'm working with some of the younger dancers, I usually have a more structured process and I'm very detailed in the work. And with the older dancers, the older they get, the longer they've been with me, the more I start having them be a part of the process and help me create the work on them and the kind of work that they want to do. And I think that that's going to be something that's really going to serve them going forward into college or companies, because your own creativity as a dancer is going to be a big reason that people want to work with you.
The creative process with Jessie is amazing because she's so dedicated to us and her students, and whenever she choreographs, she has us in mind. And from being with her for 6 years, I know she listens to the music in her car and can picture us dancing, and so when she comes in, she has things prepared for us, but she also knows and recognizes that our artistry and our choreographic skills will come through too, and she depends on us as well to bring our own creativity to her work. And it's truly amazing how she ties in emotion and a story to all her pieces, and I think it really stems from the music and from our collaboration with her.
Jessie is a hands-on teacher, so she'll find every little detail. You can like always grow and always change like your perspective. So she'll ask like so many different questions you've never thought about before, which will like always propel you and help you constantly grow.
The creative process with Jessie is unlike any other creative process that I've been a part of, and I'm so fortunate to be working with her over the past 3 years. She has so much love and passion for her students. It can border intense, but it's all really good for the dancers. She puts so much thought and care into her choreography and her vision, and really wants not only the dancer, but the individual to thrive. So she allows us to take it into our own arms, into our own minds, and make something of her choreography. So she really gives us the tools necessary for us to succeed.
If I were to describe the creative process with Jessie in one word, I would just say passionate. She oozes passion out of her pores with anything she does, and that's something I really look up to as a dancer and a choreographer, artist, just as a human being. She literally does everything with every single cell in her being with just loads and loads of passion, and I really love how she's limitless too. Like, she doesn't confine herself into one style, or she's always exploring different scenarios and ideas. So just having that open mind to look up to and be around, it's really rubbed off on me, and I aspire to be like that as a choreographer and dancer one day as well.
Yeah, the WESTSIDE Company members are the best. Like, they're like a second family to me. Like, you see them every week, every Tuesday and Sunday, but they become a part of your family, and they help you grow, they challenge you, they get to jam out. We jam out a lot with all of my friends, so that's the best part for me, and just learning from them and seeing how you guys can like help each other and grow together. So that's really cool.
I think I've definitely learned from the other students in WESTSIDE is not to be afraid of your moves or your choices, not to be like afraid of looking ugly, like when you're dancing, just rather than being just like proper, not being afraid to step outside your comfort zones and push boundaries.
I thought it was going to be so scary, but it's been such a true experience. Everyone is so passionate about their own style, and they're never beating themselves down. Like, they're always so happy for each other and for themselves, and they're always looking for something to improve on rather than like trying to be the best in the studio.
I think it's changed so much because I used to come from a competition studio, and I was just kind of like beating myself down all the time because I was like so competitive and everything. And I think going to WESTSIDE is just so much better because it's a more like healthy and like clean environment, and I can just be myself and not have to like put on a face or anything. And I just love that everything's so open, and so like it just like makes my heart so warm every time like I go to WESTSIDE, and everything makes me really happy.
The other company members are just so amazing, talent-wise, also just as people, individuals. They're so creative, and everyone's so supportive of each other. It's just a really healthy environment.
Working with the other company members at Westside has been a dream. Like, it's everything and just like everything I've ever wished for, because they are such an inspiration to me. And when Jessie gives us corrections like use your back more, or like make space, use your focus, I could actually see the older dancers, like dancers that are even younger, use this correction so I actually could understand what Jessie is trying to tell us.
The other Westside dancers truly inspire everything that you really just want to aspire to be, and how they just help you through everything, through the good patches, through the rough patches, everything. They really just guide you along the way, just being there as friends and fellow dancers.
Take anything and everything in that Jessie says and feel the energy from your peers, because everyone on the Westside is so passionate, especially the older ones, just soak in everything they have to say and all the choices they make when they're dancing. Try and bring those little things that they do that you love about them, put them in your back pocket, and try and really possess that, because I think that's maybe my favorite thing about Westside. Everyone in Westside is so passionate about dance. They love it deep into their core. So just take everything in from Jessie, but really feel the energy from the people around you, because they're incredible.
At Westside, I never feel insecure, or I never question myself when I'm dancing, so I think that's very important going into auditions. I'm never second-guessing myself, especially in interviews or with my solo. I always feel confident in my movement, because from Westside I've learned that everything I do is a choice, and it's a good choice, and there's no mistakes.
Westside has really helped me for audition settings, because it's so professional, and just having that professionalism is so important, and it helps with my confidence walking into an audition. And I think practicing picking up choreography really fast and working with so many different choreographers, it really helps us when we go to an audition. Like, we know some of the people, we know what to expect almost, and I think that's so helpful going into an audition.
I think before Westside, I thought there were only so few paths you could take to become a professional dancer. Like, there's only these companies and these types of dance, and it's all very limited, and you pick one and you follow one path. But being at Westside has taught me that your career is an experience from start to end. It's not about necessarily picking what comes next and then saying, okay, great, I'm gonna do that. It's like experiencing it as a whole, and just like, for example, if you like go to an intensive, be present in the intensive. Don't think about what comes next, my next competition, my next intensive, my next audition. Be present in what you're doing at the moment, because opportunities will present themselves more often than not if you're fully there, because people all around the world appreciate the level of presence that Westsiders have. From my experience, traveling, just and how responsive we are, because that's how Jessie has taught us to, think on our feet and always be in the moment, and not to be scared of trying new things or talking to choreographers, and just being very personable. She's taught us how to not just be great dancers, but great artists and great people all around. And that's how you're gonna get the great jobs, is because you know how to be a well-rounded artist.
So a lot of people ask me the question of what's next for Westside and where can this go? What's the potential? And although I think it's admirable to set your sights on going on tour or being in a TV show or something like that, I really feel like my art form is crafting young dancers, giving them the training and physical vocabulary that's going to help them be competitive in the concert dance world, and also helping them with their goals and really defining what that is. It's a lot easier now than it was 10 years ago because we have so many amazing companies in Los Angeles now, and we just even more freelance opportunity for dancers that want to specialize in contemporary. But I like to help mentor dancers into really what their vision is and how to get there. So in 10 years from now, how I see us is just having more experience, even better training, and just continuing on the path that we're on, but even more enlightened.